Natural 20.
What?
Natural 20. Oh, 1. A net.
Buddy.
Critical failure.
Buddy.
We're going under.
Buddy.
Alright guys, it's time to talk about safety because on Friday we definitely pushed our limits. Before I get into the story and what happened, I just want to let y'all know. I know that we should have had PFDs and radios on board, and I also know it was dangerous to go out without them. But if it makes you feel better, the comment section would be a great place for you to let me know just how irresponsible we were being, so let's fight about it down there. And also I do have to apologize to Danny because turns out he really didn't want to go swimming, and it was my fault that the kayak tipped, so sorry Danny, I'm glad you're okay. I don't know if there's reef down there. I think this is more like small patches of rock. First of all, if you don't know, I'm logging and documenting the process of fishing for 10,000 hours. The plan was to take the canoe to Crandon Park North and launch from the beach by the water sports area. We used the pool noodle roof rack, which I'm hesitantly gaining confidence in because it's proven so stable. And we carried it from the parking lot to the beach, which was super hard. If you've been watching the channel, we usually fish bridges and poles because we can just tie the canoe. But this time we bought an anchor, so the plan was to cruise around looking for reefs among the sand beds and the seagrass. I've also swam a little bit in this area, so I know that there are small patches of reef before the breakers. So I also bought a dive flag so I could hop in the water and try to get some footage. The first half of the morning was pretty uneventful. It was hard to choose where to fish because we don't have a fish finder. At some points we could see the bottom, so we just chose spots that look like reefs. There wasn't much luck on the fishing side. Even with the chum, all we managed to hook was this tiny yellowtail snapper. And after a while the boredom began to sink in, so we decided to head further out. At this point we were probably 0.3 miles from shore, but it was still too shallow and we really hadn't seen any reefs, so we headed in the direction of the breakers and we took our time working our way out there. And at some point we were even circled by a black-tipped shark, which was really cool to see. Hey, about to get whacked with that paddle.
Here it comes, here it comes. Keep it on camera.
I don't see it. Oh yeah.
Coming up, coming up. Put it on camera.
Chum's in the water, right? The only thing is, don't tip the canoe trying to whack it. I'll jump in after that shark. Should I hop out?
Alright, yeah, hop out.
Lean right, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Alright, grab the boat. Keep it steady.
If you know this area, you know that where the waves break, there's a sandbar, so I told Danny I was going to put my camera on and hop off to swim around. I dismounted in about 3 to 4 feet of water and was able to walk behind the canoe as Danny tried to keep it facing the waves. I really didn't get to do much swimming because it was too rough and I had to help Danny keep the boat steady. And at some point after a dozen or so suggestions from Danny, I decided I was just going to get back on. We pulled the canoe to another shallow area and I did the classic belly roll onto the boat. I actually got on without flipping it, but as soon as I did, the boat went parallel to the waves, and after a bump from one, we lost balance and flipped it over. Wait, get off of it,
Yeah.
Alright, no, you're good. Calm down. Deep breaths, Bobby. Yeah, we gotta take it one step at a time. I was kind of shocked at first, I don't know why, but it was kind of like that meme of the guy drowning in the bathtub. I kind of just stood up and asked Danny to get a rope and start tying our belongings together. We roped the paddles, a few rods, the cooler, and the backpacks. And then between the both of us, we flipped the canoe back and lifted it out of the water enough so that some of the water could drain out. No, it's gotta lose more water.
Yep. That's it. Sure.
I think I lost like $600 worth of stuff. The back of it? Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. You're gonna lean to your right, I'm gonna wait for the waves. Alright, lean. I'm catching my balance, I'm not in completely. As soon as the boat was upright, we threw everything we could reach in, and Danny hopped on while I held it steady, and then I hopped on after him. I have had some time to process what happened, though, and looking back, I think there are some things that I do need to learn from this. First of all, I don't want to say that we were lucky that it was a shallow area. The truth is, I only got off the boat because we were in a shallow area. I knew that if anything happened, we wouldn't need to rely on PFDs, which we didn't have, to stay afloat. That being said, while we were trying to upright the canoe, we kept getting slammed by waves that would push us into deeper water, and at some point I did have to swim to stay afloat. So the decision to not take flotation devices out there turned out to be a stupid one after all. Second, we didn't have a way to call for help. We both had our phones on us, but mine fell in the water, and although Danny's was in his dry bag, we should have had radios we could have used to call for help. And lastly, we should have strapped everything to the canoe. When we flipped, all our stuff fell in the water. I recovered a lot of my camera equipment and our bags, but I did lose my most expensive rod, my phone, and some camera equipment. Honestly, we deserve it, and I'm only upset because we did end up dumping a bunch of stuff in the bay, which is not cool. I tallied up my losses to be around $300, but that's nothing compared to the safety of Danny Boy and I. And that's why I promise y'all I'm not going back on the canoe without PFDs on the boat and a radio to signal for help. Because had this happened in deeper water or in a riptide or in many other situations, this could have been life-threatening. But luckily, we lived to fish another day. Also, I am counting this all as fishing experience and tallying my total fishing hours this trip to 4, putting me at 321. Please guys, do as I say and not as I do, and prioritize safety whenever you can. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Yep. I was born without a phone.